Shalom, hello, welcome to this video, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back with a new video. Praise Yah, my computer, my PC is connected to the internet here in my new place. So I'm recording from a new location, as you can see. And I hope you're all well, I pray you're all well. And having a blessed start to this new moon, this new month of Adar. We are the last month of the Hebrew calendar now. We're closing towards the end of the year. So I pray you all have a good end of the year and lead up to the new year and the Passover and the feasts that we are looking forward to. I probably will do more updates during this month about how we prepare for the new year, how we prepare for Passover. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. But this video is going to be about a reading I've been doing. Basically, since we finished the Torah portion cycle in October on Sukkot, so I've carried on the Shabbat reading with the Torah portions. So the Torah portions are 5 books of Moses: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. So the cycle goes through the whole year. On Shabbat you read a portion of that cycle until you get back round to Genesis. So on the Shabbat I've been doing the reading of the portions of that cycle. But what I've also done, because it's been a while since I read the Old Testament in its entirety, and I don't think I've ever actually read it chronologically straight through, so what I carried on in my daily weekly read, I carried on reading after Deuteronomy. So Joshua, Judges, Samuel, Ruth, and I'm in Kings now. So that's what in my absence from my ministry and my online evangelism and work, I've been Abba's having a lot of putting me in a time of really reading and studying and learning, equipping me for the future he has. So I want to share with you from my reading today on Friday the 12th of February. It's a very poignant lesson we can learn from this text. So I'm going to read to you here. So 1 Kings 13. So what I'm going to do in this video, and if I do others like it, I'll read through the text and then I want to expound on what struck me from the text, what I've learned from the text, and hopefully to share that with you and help you in your journey. So if you want to attend with me, I'll be reading from it's a New English Bible, okay? So yeah, whatever translation you're reading from, that is also good. And I usually read from King James Version because I believe it's the more reliable generally. But this one's also quite good, although not perfect. But yeah, it is quite good for descriptive purposes. So I'm going to start reading 1 Kings 13 verse 1, and I'm going to read right through the chapter. So I'm going to start. As Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn the sacrifice, a man of Elohim from Yehudah, moved by the word of Yah, appeared at Bethel. He inveighed against the altar in Yah's name, crying out, "O altar, altar, this is the word of Yah, listen. A child shall be born to the house of David, named Josiah. He will sacrifice upon you the priests of the hill shrines, who make offerings upon you, and he will burn human bones upon you." He gave a sign the same day. This is the sign which Yah has ordained. This altar will be rent in pieces, and the ashes upon it will be spilt. When King Jeroboam heard the sentence which the man of Elohim pronounced against the altar at Bethel, he pointed to him from the altar and said, "Seize that man." Immediately the hand which had pointed at him became paralyzed, so that he could not draw it back. So he was stuck with a pointed hand. The altar too was rent in pieces, and the ashes were spilt. in fulfillment of the sign that the man of Elohim had given at Yah's command. The king appeared to the man of Elohim to pacify. He appealed. The king appealed to the man of Elohim to pacify Yah his Elohim and pray for him that his hand might be restored. The man of Elohim did as he asked. His hand was restored and became as it had been before. I just want to make a quick note here. I probably should have done that to begin with, but in my reading I transliterate some of the Hebrew words, substituting for the English. So where I say Elohim, that's the Hebrew for God. So yeah, that's just God. And where it says Lord in capitals, that is meaning it's the sacred name of the God of Israel. So I would read Yah as a shortened form of his name. There's a lot of debate about what his name actually is and also how frequently we should use it, but it was in the original, so that's what I'm reading it as, just so you can follow along well without getting confused by different terms that I'm using. So we are going to continue. Then the king said to the man of Elohim, "Come home and take refreshment at my table, and let me give you a present." But the man of Elohim answered, "If you were to give me half your house, I would not enter it with you. I will eat and drink nothing in this place, for Yah's command to me was to eat and drink nothing, and not to go back by the way I came." So he went back another way. He did not return by the road he had taken to Bethel. At that time there was an aged prophet living in Bethel. His sons came and recounted to him all that the man of Elohim had done in Bethel that day. They also told their father what he had said to the king. Their father said to them, "Which road did he take?" They pointed out the road taken by the man of Elohim, who had come from Yehudah. He said to his sons, "Saddle an ass for me." They saddled the ass, and he mounted it and went after the man of Elohim. He found him seated under a terebinth, and said to him, "Are you the man of Elohim who came from Yehudah?" And he said, "Yes, I am." "Come home and eat with me," said the prophet. "I cannot go back with you or enter your house," said the other. "I can neither eat nor drink with you in this place, for it was told me by the word of Yah, you shall eat and drink nothing there, nor shall you go back the way you came." And the old man said to him, "I also am a prophet, as you are, and an angel commanded me by the word of Yah to bring you home with me, to eat and drink with me." He was lying, but the man of Yehudah went back with him, and ate and drank in his house. While they were still seated at the table, the word of Yah came to the prophet, who had brought him back, and he cried out to the man of Elohim from Yehudah, "This is the word of Yah. You have defied the word of Yah your Elohim, and have not obeyed his command. You have come back to eat and to drink in the place where he forbade it. Therefore your body shall not be laid in the grave of your forefathers." After they had eaten and drunk, he saddled an ass for the prophet, whom he had brought back. As he went on his way, a lion met him and killed him, and his body was left lying in the road, with the ass and the lion both standing beside it. Some passers-by saw the body lying in the road, and the lion standing beside it, and they brought the news to the city where the old prophet lived. When the prophet who had caused him to break his journey heard it, he said, "It is the man of Elohim who defied the word of Yah. Yah has given him to the lion, and it has broken his neck and killed him in fulfillment of the word of Yah." He told his sons to saddle an ass, and when they had saddled it, he set out and found the body lying in the road, with the ass and the lion standing beside it. The lion had neither devoured the body nor broken the back of the ass. Then the prophet lifted the body of the man of Elohim, laid it on the ass, and brought it back to his own city, to mourn over it and bury it. He laid the body in his own grave, and they mourned for him, saying, "My brother, my brother." After burying him, he said to his sons, "When I die, bury me in the grave where the man of Elohim lies buried. Lay my bones beside his, for the sentence which he pronounced at Yah's command against the altar in Bethel and all the hill shrines of Samaria shall be carried out." After this, Jeroboam still did not abandon his evil ways, but went on appointing priests for hill shrines from all classes of people. Any man who offered himself he would consecrate to be priest of a hill shrine. By doing this, he brought guilt upon his own house and doomed it to utter destruction. So, there's a lot in there. A lot in that passage. If you're interested in what's going on historically, King Jeroboam is king of Israel. The kingdom has been split into the house of Yehuda, the house of Judah, and the house of Israel. And Rehoboam, Solomon's son, is king over Yehuda, and Jeroboam is king over Israel. And Jeroboam has set up idolatrous altars. And one of these altars is at Bethel that this prophet is prophesying against. He prophesies of a coming king, Josiah, who had not been born yet. And it's amazing because this was spoken way before. And if you carry on reading in Kings, you find out King Josiah came along and he did destroy all these idolatrous altars. So that's a bit of what's going on. But you see where this prophet, this is really what I want to bring out of this text. Because this man has heard the voice of Yah, a prophetic voice commanding him what he should do and what he should not do. He's to go to the place, he's to send a message to King Jeroboam. I mean, you see the Almighty was with him so powerfully that King Jeroboam was going to have him seized, but King Jeroboam's arm got paralyzed, and the altar split in two, which he just said would happen prophetically, and it happened. And the Almighty was very much with him. So he was speaking prophecy, he was hearing prophecy, and he heard this rule that he should not eat or drink in this place. And he was certain of it. The king, when a king invites you to a banquet, that's like a privilege, okay? But he refused it because he knew that this is what the Almighty said, that he should not. And he was willing to obey him. But we see what happens. There's a twist. He's been tested in this, and he's proven that he will restrain himself and do according to the Almighty's will. But this is then not only a test, this is another prophet claiming something different than what he himself has received. Now, we don't know the motivation for this prophet lying. We see that in the next few verses he was speaking prophetically the truth. So this is what he said, that an angel visited him and told him that he should come back to his house. It said he lied, so he didn't even receive an angel, most likely. But what I find most interesting out of this is the lesson we can learn, because the prophet that had gone to Bethel, has spoken against the altar, and who had received the information that he should not eat in the place, he is now doubting his own prophetic gift, his own what he's received himself, because another prophet is coming along saying, no, that's not true, this is what the Almighty said. A bit like the serpent came along and went, no, you won't die if you eat of that tree, you'll have the knowledge of the gods and you can be gods, and so it's like a dismissal of what you have heard Elohim say. And you see, he paid the ultimate price for what was ultimately not outright disobedience to the Almighty, but rather being deceived that that's not what the Almighty had actually told him. Because he's going, these other prophets come along, had this revelation, I must be mistaken, and so I'm going to go along with what this one's saying, and I'm going to go back and eat there. And then he paid the ultimate price for it. So brothers and sisters, when you receive something from the Almighty, you receive a vision, you receive a dream, you receive revelation, spiritual, you hear the Almighty say something to you. We have to go through this process of discerning, right? But if you are so certain about that, do not let anything waver your certainty. You must obey, you must have faith, you must continue and be strong that this is what the Almighty has said. And I'm not giving way to anything else. Because if the Almighty tells you personally, prophetically something, especially when it comes to what you should and shouldn't do, it's not a light matter. You know? People may around you may pooh it, may belittle it, but no, that is what you have received, and you must do according to what you have received. Just because it's not written in a book, you have received this by revelation, and you must hold to that, because we see the penalty of disobedience. We see the penalty of disobedience here. So I just want to share that, because I know it's hard sometimes to discern, and I know sometimes we know with certainty this is what's been revealed to me. And in that moment you are certain, you have conviction, you have complete confidence that this is what the Almighty has spoken to me. But someone may come along and make you waver, make you doubt, make you change your direction from the direction that the Almighty was saying to go. You say no. When that comes along, you say, no, I'm not doubting, I'm not wavering. This is what the word has said. This is the word of the Adonai. This is the word of Elohim. And that rebuffs any spiritual attacks. Because what did Yehoshua do? Every time he was tempted, he said, it is written. And okay, with this, it may not be written, because it's been transferred to your spirit. But you say, this is the word. This is the spoken word, not the written. Okay? And I'm not wavering from what I know is the word of Adonai. The word of the Lord. I'm not wavering from that. So it's important. And you see, when I read this before, a few months ago as well, because I was reading bits here and there. And this really stood out to me and spoke to me, and I was like, okay, this is not something to be messed around with, actually. We need to be serious at getting to know what the Almighty is telling us and what we should or shouldn't be doing. Sometimes things are less important than this. Okay, sometimes it's simply His will is that you do this, but you have free will in that, and if you do or don't, well, He's not going to punish you. He's just would bless you more if you did what He was willing you to do. Okay, like when it comes to life choices in particular. I know this has happened through me, that I've spoken to someone about their life choices, and the Almighty has spoken through me to that person, and they have made a different choice than what the Almighty was saying would be good to do. This is the way I want you to go. And that person has not been punished, but that person would have received so much more blessing if they had chosen to go in alignment completely with Yah's will. So there are things like that, and those aren't quite so serious, but there are some things we see that are more serious. So yes, definitely hear, definitely listen, definitely discern. But when you know, Do not let anyone waver you. Do not let anyone shake you. Do not let anyone make you doubt, because you doubt and then you sin. Then you disobey. That is the kind of the way the enemy works. With the first sin, like I said, he makes you doubt. Then he makes you sin. He makes you disobey. The first thing comes in the mind, in the heart, in the lev. You must not doubt, you must not disobey, because from doubt comes disobedience. Your heart may not be naturally inclined to disobedience, but if you get deceived and you believe the opposite, then you're going to act differently. This is why you need to start in the heart. Yehoshua, Jesus, was continually speaking about the heart. It's not just about what you physically do, it starts in the heart. You know, if you commit adultery, that's an act, but it starts in the heart. It starts with lusting after that person. You've got to nip it. You've got to stop it in the heart. Okay? So you've got to stop that doubt from your heart before that doubt in your heart leads to sin. I know this is speaking to some people because I know that I was in prayer, and I know that the Almighty was like, get on, speak about this. This is what He led me to do this evening, and we're just closing into Shabbat now, so I'm not going to go on too long. I'm going to close this up because I've said what I want to say, and I hope this has blessed you. And until next time, Shalom.